Hey! Hi! I'm back after the last behemoth of a project. I love it dearly, but holy shit. And I also kinda did this to myself, so, who am I to complain? I realized I might need to make it a little bit shorter, and felt like I could maybe put it into one supercut later. Tell me what you think about a supercut. Could be like one big ass movie or something, Anyway, enough babbling, and immediately a disclaimer. I am not a professional. I might sound like I know what I'm doing, but I certainly don't. Like any other creative, I love making stuff. And for me, the only way that I'll learn is by actually starting a project and learning along the way how it should be done or how it's supposed to be done. One of those things that I learned from last episode is that I should probably talk a little bit calmer and articulate a little bit better in some sentences. This does not promise that I will actually do this. I have a feeling that the longer this audio session is going to take, the faster I will actually start speaking and the less I will start to articulate. So I'm going to try my best, but please bear with me, y'all. If you use this whole video as inspiration for your own personal projects, go right ahead. But if you want to do something in a professional manner, ignore this video, please. It's just me having fun with trying to make stuff. And I think that's going to be the theme over this entire series. It's just all going to be about failing miserably. If I'd have a team who'd have to understand what the f I'm trying to do, then I might have redrawn all the storyboards into one of these templates. In this part you draw the actual drawing, here you put the scene number, there you would write down what would be happening, and here you would do some other stuff that I don't understand. Most of the templates use this same kind of view. I didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't. Let's go into another subject, which is also important for making anything. Yes, it's a planning. Everybody is different, so there's no one way of planning. For example, I am a pantser and a planner. What do these mean, you might wonder? Well, a pantser is somebody who goes where the road takes them. They just start and course correct if something goes wrong. And a planner is exactly as it sounds. They plan. Why am I both, you might wonder? Because I start as a pantser. I just go in and do something. But then I feel like I need to plan it all out because I don't know where I'm going and I don't have a reason to continue. And then I just drop the plans when I get a little bit more confidence in the process. Example, I started this project with what I knew, ideation and script and storyboarding. And now, from this point on, I don't know what to do next. So I'll watch videos, make hundreds of lists in what order to do it all, then I start on the design. Then I feel like I first need to make a mood board to actually make a good design. And then after that mood board, I kind of want to work on a style guide first, but I first gotta design what to style. So, characters. But I want the characters to be the opposite of the environment, and I already have an idea of how that's going to look, so I'll first start with the environment. And that's how I feel like it should work in general. It could be that I'm gaslighting myself, but I'm not one to say. It's all about this following sentence. Adapt, change, reflect, and keep moving forward. If one thing in your process takes too long or it's too vague, either think outside of the box or go back to developing some other puzzle piece from before. But I do feel like I'm getting ahead of myself about talking about the environment, so let's step a step back and go to finding references and inspiration. Fill in that well of knowledge with stuff that makes you happy. If you want to make something you love, you have to first understand what you love or find stuff that you love. As cool as it sounds to be able to create anything from imagination, you first have to have a base of knowledge in your head to actually make something. That's why people struggle when they have to draw a bike from memory, because you know how it looks in your head, but it's vague. Meanwhile, people who have studied drawing bikes their whole life will have an easy time because they've seen so many bikes in their life before. One of the biggest sources of inspiration for me myself is real life. Colors, the events, like I said before in the last episode, interactions and human behavior, and most of all, just existence. It's all about taking a second to look at what inspires you. Take it in with everything you have and then figure out why this brings you so much joy, or just enjoy it the way you like it. No difficult stories attached. Be you. Learn to do something by making mistakes. Man, I feel like I'm talking too slow. Am I talking too slow? Other sources that I used were Pinterest, for example, album covers, video screenshots, my own pictures from real life, and game art. I put all of these files that I love the most into one document. I have a preference for printing them out and then making a collage out of it, but I am an unpaid intern and not anywhere close to a printer, so an overexpensive software's gotta do the job. I split these bad boys up into character, style, background, and light. And my favorite, together with light of course, is color. Sorry for the people who are colorblind. I will make sure the values are strongly separated so y'all can enjoy it too. At least, At least I'll try. Let's break it down per board. Character. I was planning on putting feelings and emotions here, but I didn't really find a lot for this, so let's just move on. Style. Style is important in almost anything. If you go into a dentist area, you immediately recognize the style by often the sterile environment. In film, for example, this would be what kind of shots they take. A lot of medium shots or wide shots. For animation, this is also important, or just as important, maybe even more important, because this makes you recognize something from miles away. My favorite of all of these pictures is this green-eyed, green-haired person right here. The art is blocky, it's textured and expressive with colors that just pounce at you. Now I hear you say, this is going to be insane to animate. And yes, you are correct. Here is the kicker. I'm going to try to use Blender. No, not a Blender. I'm going to try to use Blender, the 3D animation software. And in Blender, there is an extra software for 2D animation, which is called Grease Pencil. Again, Grease Pencil, not Grease Pencils. Let's just continue. Grease Pencil makes lines into objects that you can move, to just say it bluntly. But alright, let's look at another image. This one is also very interesting to me because this is semi-realism. Not because my character is named Semi, but this is just semi-realism, and I actually really love semi-realism. Although for this one there is actually a big chance that it might be too difficult for me. But who am I to say no? I'ma try anyway. And if it fails miserably, only then we'll find out. Yay! Colors. Scientifically speaking, colors are the aspect of any object that may be described in terms of hue, lightness, and saturation. In physics, color is associated specifically with electromagnetic radiation of a certain range of wavelengths visible to the human eye. In a cultural sense, this just differs, but often these colors are associated with cold and these colors are associated with warmth, because of climate reasons. I specifically chose colors for the environment with this one. I want the outside to be something with a light pink or purpley grass and then blue skies, so I can make the flashbacks or the scenes inside contrasting in color by warm scenes. Next, background and light. I already talked about environmental art, but background and light is just as important. Light is electromagnetic radiation that can be detected by human eyes as well. Yes. Cool, right? Everything is connected, y'all. I'll tell you. Light often makes or breaks a piece. Look at these pictures. This one is beautiful and this one is just kinda mid. Now I have to find examples for that. I'm such an asshole to myself sometimes. Often this is done later in the stage at composition. How I'll figure this out, again, will be so much fun for later me. Backgrounds can be made with more detail since this won't have to move. But for cohesion's sake, and not to get the Scooby-Doo whatever will they grab next effect, I will try to use the same art style as the animation style. But we'll figure that out when we get there. Please don't forget to subscribe. I needed to ask this from one of my friends. This video is long enough as it is right now. I hear ya. 5 minutes isn't that long, but when you edit it this way, it will be. So enjoy the two-parter and see you in the next time when I remember my password.